Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we are going to be reviewing and showing you how to play in a retro game review, Mastermind. Now, this is the new edition of Mastermind, now called Mastermind Remastered, that has been published by Pressman Games. There they are. Pressman. Now, I'd like to thank Pressman and Goliath Games for sending me this copy to do some content on, as well as sending me a little bit down memory lane. I have not played this game since probably the late 80s, early 90s. I used to have a copy of Mastermind, and I enjoyed playing it quite a bit. But again, I haven't played it in a long time. Now, you played this as a kid too, right? Mm-hmm. So again, though, has it probably been like at least 20 years?
Not since I was a little kid.
So I was kind of intrigued to see if this one stands up. Now, we do often do these retro game reviews on our channel where the big question is, does it stand up? Does it hold up to today? So the game is for ages 8+ for 2 players, and they don't really put in a time, but I would say this is about roughly like a 15-minute game to 20-minute game, maybe.
I would say 10 to many hours if you're playing with someone who just sits there and thinks.
Oh, stop. No, but we have not had that problem. I would say that this is probably a 15 minutes, half an hour game. It doesn't really take that long. You shoot through one side in about 5 to 10 minutes, generally.
That's if you're not overthinking everything, then.
No, I think 10 minutes is overthinking it. Usually it's very quick to go through one side of this. So, and I don't know why you keep saying that. We haven't had that problem. Neither one of us got analysis paralysis on it. Yeah, but you're acting like it was a problem we had.
Because I can see people spending entirely too long just thinking and staring at the board.
Yeah, but if you're putting that in, you could say that for any game. You could say, wow, I could totally see how someone, somewhere, might have analysis paralysis on this. Okay. So without any further ado, let me show you what comes in the box. Now, I do want to address the elephant in the room. It says remastered, and I thought that meant there was going to be some new rules in here, and there really aren't. This is the rule book. It is really just a pamphlet. The rules are all of 3 pages, and the rules to Mastermind really haven't changed much, if at all, in the last 20 years.
I'm not really sure you could really...
I mean, you could put in optional rules, and maybe, but yeah, there's... I think remastered maybe is just because they redesigned the board. Mm-hmm. Because the rules are really the same as you remember from when you were a kid, I think. We read through them, and I didn't notice any differences from when I used to play, and I went and just double-checked on some of the older editions, and I think it's pretty much the same. The board, though, has been changed, and it is really nice looking. They gave it this kind of very angular look to it, and it's all black molded plastic now with the red drawer that says Mastermind. My one gripe I have about the design of this plastic board, as cool as it is and as cool as it looks, and I mean they've got this blind now where it's kind of neat. You put the pegs in here and then you lift it up and it clicks into place. And then when you want to reveal what the actual code was, if the person gets it, you just slap it down and you can see it. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of it. That's very fun. But my one gripe about this is the drawer. So they made a drawer which has 2 different sections, which is obviously meant for you to take the plastic pegs out of the bags and put them in the drawer and just keep them there. But the holes here are big enough for the small pegs that they could fall out if that's really how you stored it. Which is, easily solved by the fact that they put these little plastic Ziploc bags in the box, so we just keep them in the plastic Ziploc bags. It's just that's obviously the intention of having the drawer there, and it's not really usable for its intention. So I think that's a small gripe, but it is a gripe.
It is usable. You just have to keep them in their little baggies.
Yeah, we do keep it in there. We just keep them in the bags. But that's basically everything that comes in the box. You've got the board, you've got the pegs, and you have the rule booklet. Now, we're going to take you to the table, and we're going to show you how we play Mastermind, and we're going to actually take you through about half of a game of Mastermind and then tell you how you would score it at the end. Then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about how this game feels. We're going to review it and rate it. Okay, so here we can see a game of Mastermind set up and ready to play. Lynn is going to be playing the Codebreaker. Lynn, wave your hand out so they know what side you're on. That is the Codebreaker side. And to set up the game, Lynn has chosen a sequence of 4 pegs, or possibly even empty spaces, because we're going to be playing the advanced way since we're both adults, and place them behind that blind over there that I can't see through, and you can't see either. So there are 4 either pegs or empty spaces over there behind the blind. I am going to be playing the Codebreaker. I'm going to try to guess the codes. And this is all you have to do to set up. The Codemaster picks what they're putting in the 4 spaces. They raise the blind. They're ready to go. Then I'm going to trying different combinations of pegs or empty spaces, while Lynn is going to assign red pegs to my row if I got a right color in a right place, though I don't know which one, and white pegs if I got a right color peg but in a wrong place. So to start with, since we are playing with the advanced rules, I'm going to start with 3 colors in an empty space because I never know if Lynn is going to use an empty one or not. So I'm going to go white, yellow, blue, and a blank. And now Lynn will have to assign some pegs. So it looks like she's grabbing a white one. So I've got a right color and a wrong hole there somewhere. Oh, 2. Wow. Okay, so I've got 2 right colors, but in wrong holes. Well, let's see now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the white to there. I'm gonna try some different things. I'm gonna try a red there. I'm gonna move the blue there and put a yellow there and see what I get. So there's still a right in a wrong place and still a right in a wrong place. I wonder if the red is correct and the blank was correct also now. Interesting. All right, so now I'm going to put the blue in the last one there. I'm going to keep the yellow and put it there. I'm going to lose the white, but put a red there and put a blank spot there and see what I get. What? Huh. Okay, so it's not the white. So it's definitely not the white. And it's not the... I think it's the yellow and the blue based on my deduction here, because changing it between the red and the blank didn't seem to alter it at all. Taking out the white didn't seem to alter it at all. It's got to be the yellow and the blue, and each of those only have one spot they have not yet been in. So the blue's got to be in the far right spot. Yellow's got to be in the next spot. Those are the only spots they haven't been in. I don't think there's red, white, or blank, which means I'm now left with a green and a black. So I'm going to give those a shot. I'm going to put a black in next and a green in next and see what I got. Okay, so I got a red peg, which means a right color in a right spot. Another red peg. I'm pretty sure those are the... Oh, a third red peg. Okay. Wow, I'm a little... Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm pretty sure the yellow and the blue are right. So I'm going to stick there. Yellow and blue, I think, are right. Let's keep the green. But let's... what else could I have going on here? Instead of the black, what am I missing? It could be a second of one of the other colors. Let's try another green. Let's try that.
Broke the code.
Oh, nice. So Lynn knocks it down there and shows that I, in fact, got the code. I figured it out. That was a bit lucky. It could have also been a second yellow or a second blue. I just took a guess on that one. But that means I got it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my color will be red. And what I do is I take one of these pegs and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is my score. That's how many guesses I had to take to make it. And now we would spin it around. I would make a code, and Lynn would see how many guesses she would need to take to get it. If she got it in less than 5, she would win. If she got it in more than 5, I would win because I had gotten it sooner. And if we got it both in 5, we would have tied. And that is how you play Mastermind. So now we're going to head back to the table. We're going to talk about how this game feels. We're going to review it and rate it. And welcome back. That was how you play a game of Mastermind. So now, how should we address this first? Should we talk first about reviewing the game, and then we'll discuss if it holds up?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Makes more sense that way? All right, so what are your thoughts on Mastermind in this day and age with modern sensibilities? I mean, this is a game that first came out in the early 70s. I think it was 71. So this is goes all the way back.
I'm wondering if they have the original date. No.
They don't, but I believe it was originally released in 1971. This goes all the way back. This is before you and I were even born. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely a classic game. So what are your thoughts on it? On playing it again now as an adult with modern sensibilities, with modern games? How do you feel about Mastermind?
I think it's a perfectly fine entry level game
for deduction games.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that if you are trying to teach your kids about deductive reasoning and deduction games, this is a really good entry-level deduction game. Also, you know what? At least for me, I found that this did hit the nostalgia button for me. I played this as a kid, so playing it again with you, I was like, okay, I remember this. It all came right back to me. And it was hitting that nostalgia button a little bit. So I did really like that. So there's 2 reasons I would recommend this to you right off the bat, which is the one that Lynn just pointed out, is if you're trying to get an introductory level deduction game, this still fits the bill for that. And also, if you're looking to relive a little bit of nostalgia. So, I mean, the game plays, it's very basic deduction. One person makes a code, the other person has to deduce what that code is by guessing and getting hints based on their guess. The hints are, you got a right color in a wrong spot or a right color in a right spot. Mm-hmm. And from there, you have to deduce and alter and figure it out. There are a couple shortcomings of this game at this point, though, I think. And we would be remiss not to discuss them. So the first thing is, while it is pretty quick to play each side of this game, when you're playing, because you got to play it twice to get the final score. When you're playing as the Codemaster, there's a lot of twiddling of the thumbs because you're just sort of waiting for the code breaker to put a code in, and then you're gonna
you can only react to what the other player does.
You come up with the code and then you sit and you wait to give them the white pegs or the red pegs, right? So I mean, you're not waiting a long time. Like we said before, most games of this that we've played have been like I think at the longest, maybe around 10 minutes on one side. Yeah. So it's not a huge amount of waiting. This is not a big issue with this game. It's not that bad, but it is an issue. And I do feel like it needs to be addressed. The other issue is, in my opinion, is replayability. So now the game is replayable, but it's not, even though it's a very quick game, like with most very quick games like this, you feel like you want to go and play them again. And play them back to back to back to back. You don't want to do that with this.
No.
Because after not very long, all of the games are going to feel pretty similar. Even though there's a ridiculous number of combinations of pegs that you can use, especially messing with your opponent with using multiple of the same kind of peg. The problem becomes when you're doing this, I mean, you're going through the same exact steps each time to figure out what colors are used. And after a while, they do feel very similar. Now, if you space them out, that's fine. It's not going to be a problem. Like, I would say if when you're having a two-person game night, like you and your significant other or you and your child, and you're just playing a few games, you play one game of Mastermind and then play something else, it's fine. You're not going to have it wear out its welcome. The problem comes in if you try to play Mastermind, like, 3 times in a row. I think even 2 times is okay. I think it's when you hit about 3 times that you start to feel a little bored, and you can feel like it's overstayed its welcome at that point. So, and I mean, you know, I don't know that any game is 100% intended to be played back to back to back to back. It feels like something you should still address, because with a quick game, you do feel like you might want to play it back to back to back.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion on that? Do you agree?
I agree, because when we played it, we played one game, and then did we play one or... We played like 2 or 3 games, right?
And that's when it starts to get a little...
And it was like, I think the second game, it was still alright, but then we played a third game, and that game we were both like,
Okay, let's go play something else, yeah. So, I mean, all of that being said now, positives and negatives, the fact that it still is a good deduction game, it's still a good quick 2-player game, but the fact that it does not have... It has limited replayability, and that there is... downtime when you're playing as the Codemaster. Does this game hold up to today? I mean, this is a game that's been in print. Was it 71? How many decades now? 30 years? More than 30 years? Jesus, almost 40 years?
Yeah.
Does it hold up? It's been in print in one way or another for almost 40 years now. Does this game hold up to today? What do you think?
I think it does.
And I do too. I
mean, it's there's not a lot. It's a basic game.
Yes.
And that's fine, because
that's what it's meant to be.
It's meant to be a basic game, and so it doesn't have any kind of gimmicks that date it or anything like that, and that's why I think it holds up.
No. It's very basic. It was a basic deduction game. It was very brilliant for when it came out. And the thing is I think this game gets overlooked a lot, and I think it's a little bit unfair how overlooked this game gets, because I think there was a tendency that people would overplay this game themselves. And if you overplayed it, your estimation of it would drop sharply, because you'd be like, oh man, every game feels really the same. But as long as you don't overplay it, I mean, if this game was released today, I think I would give it a fairly positive rating and review, even if it had never been released in 71 and someone came up with it today. I think it mostly holds up better than a lot of the other games from its time period, from that like mid to late 20th century time period. Basically everything... I'm talking everything up to about 1980. There's a lot of games from that time period that don't hold up. There's a lot of roll and move games and a lot of stuff like that. But this doesn't fall into any of those traps. It's just it's basic. It's simple. It's straight to the point. And as long as you don't overplay it yourself, it's still fun. And for all those reasons, I'm going to give Mastermind 6 out of 10 stars, which means I do still enjoy this game. And I will play it when I'm in the mood for it, with the caveat that I have to make sure not to overplay it. And that is really important. That's the bottom line for me, is it's when we're doing 2-person game nights, I will pull this out for a game of it. And as long as we space those out, I think it's one that's actually going to, now that it's made it back into our collection, because we both owned a copy of this when we were kids, I think it's going to be in our collection for some time to come. Because if you space it out, it'll take a lot longer to play it out for you, I think. So 6 out of 10 stars for me. Where are you at with this?
I'm also at 6 out of 10 stars.
And that is, it's very interesting, because the playing it out, I think, brought us down to that 6. Because originally, when we played our first game of it, we were both like, why did we sell our old copy of this? And we were both like, oh, it's a 7-star game. Because we were discussing.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. That's the one thing that's holding it back. But that being said, it's still a good game. And we agree that it holds up. So there you have it. If you are looking to reminisce and get a little nostalgic over Mastermind, you should pick up this new copy. It's really nice. It's well put together. It's well made. If you have kids and you're looking to introduce them to the idea of deductive reasoning so that they will play more advanced deductive games with you at some point, this is still a really good entry-level deductive reasoning game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enjoyed this review and tutorial for Mastermind, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Kaptain. That's Kaptain spelled with a K on YouTube. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, either on Mastermind Remastered or this video, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And until next time, game on.